G'day, I'm Dan from Ausgel.
And I'm Mark from TTB Gel Blasters.
Hi, I'm Jet DesertFox from DesertFox Airsoft YouTube channel.
And today we're going to be talking with Jet, aka DesertFox Airsoft, about all things airsoft, gel ball, and milsim. So, Jet, firstly, thank you very much for joining us. You are a huge personality in the airsoft world.
Massive.
And we are thrilled to have the opportunity to do this interview with you.
Absolutely.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So basically, I've been playing airsoft since 2002, so roughly about 18 years.
Wow.
I started working within the airsoft industry around 2008. Like kind of 2010-ish.
Awesome.
I pretty much run the entire gambit of what you can work in airsoft. I used to work for a store, an airsoft store called Steelhawk that was located in Rancho Cucamonga. I worked there for about maybe a year and a half doing retail, selling airsoft guns to people. And then I started Then I opened up a field. At one point, I had an outdoor field and an indoor field, and I was basically the person running that.
Wow.
Both those fields closed down. Then I went to work for a paintball company called Giant Sports. They own about at that time, they had owned about 5 different paintball fields across California. And this was way before airsoft had got massively popular around the US and the world. And so I was brought in because I was the only person that they knew of, I guess at the time, who really had an expertise in airsoft and understood the game side of it and the industry side. And so they made me the head of operations, if you will,
Cool.
for everything
cool.
airsoft related at Giant Sports. I held that position for about 2 years, and then YouTube just kind of fell into my lap. I had a video go viral while I was playing at SC Village, and then from there I quit working for the guys at Giant and have been doing YouTube full time.
So was there a particular moment that you exploded in popularity, like as you mentioned, a viral video or the amount of likes that you got on your streams, which then led you to the next point of continuing your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it was a viral video. It was just a regular day of playing airsoft for me. I had just recently started wearing a helmet camera, and I just happened to record this kind of hilarious moment at SC Village in Southern California, where I just unintentionally took a bunch of people hostage in this little hut just for fun. It was just kind of a mess around day.
Awesome.
And that video just somehow went viral on YouTube, and I vividly remember most of what happened after that. So I uploaded that video. I had left Southern California and went to a game in Oklahoma, and I still had like notifications turned on for YouTube on my phone. And I remember waking up one morning and I had like 22,000 emails or something.
Wow.
My inbox was just flooded with all of these subscribers on YouTube. And I was like, what is going on? And it turned out I had gained like 200,000 subscribers in like 48 hours. It was crazy.
Wow. That is
the
epic.
video got shared around on like television and some other highlight like channels and stuff. And that's pretty much what catapulted me into where I am today in airsoft. It's crazy. I had never expected it, and it was completely unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. That's
Absolutely
really
fantastic.
Cool. I really like that. Well, look, I guess the next question, Jet, do you have a favorite airsoft gun?
I do, actually. I mean, I have several, but I think right now my favorite out of the bunch is my Elite Force HK416A5. It's not stock anymore. It's been finally tuned by the good folks at evic.com in their performance shop. So it shoots very, very nice. There's a great video if you want to see it in action, where I down 87 players in a single life using that gun. And
that's going to make a lot of HK fanboys happy over here. I can tell you that much. Wow. Very
Big
cool.
time. We know you love your milsim, and we've seen heaps of video content you have about it, but are there any other styles of games that you love to play as well?
You know what's funny is So when I started in shooting sports, I started off as a paintballer, and my favorite type of paintball was speedball, like the competitive side of paintball.
Yep.
And then when I switched over to airsoft, I just had this like complete shift in 180 where I got away from like, running down some small field with inflatable bunkers, shooting people as much as I can with paint, to like slowly moving forward with like a squad of guys and trying to accomplish, a very specific mission or objective. But I still really enjoy, all different aspects of airsoft, just regular skirmish play, speedball. There's a stereotype out there that people think I hate speed softers, which I don't. It's just another style of airsoft that, some people enjoy and others don't. Same thing with milsim.
It's glad, we're good to hear that you don't discriminate, and it's people in Australia very much the same. We're settling into the sport ourselves, and over here it can go one of two ways.
It can, indeed.
It's going to be them and us, or everyone together.
Same as what you're doing over in America as well. We've got a whole bunch of guys who are fully interested, like you were doing in paintball, that speed soft game. We have a form of it within paintball as well, which is growing some massive following when it comes to it, but also when it comes to our milsim. There's a whole bunch of guys that just love that traditional uniform setup, the army setup, and getting onto a field with a team that knows how to make their calls and get out there and overtake. I've even seen some of your video contents when you've gone to massive fields like ex-army barracks and done some awesome events with your team as well, which is phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, a lot of those videos you see too, that's just an ad hoc unit. That's not like a team that I've been thrown into. It's just kind of this group of guys. It's like, all right, this is the group that you're going to be with. Either lead me, follow me, or get the hell out of my way. That's where we're at with that.
Oh, that's cool. Well, it's good that you're able to do that. That shows a lot of character. So look, we've got a whole bunch of viewer questions for you, and so we're just going to start stepping through those. The first one is through a friend of mine, Eldhart, also known as Shane, from Facebook. He has asked, is there difficulty with how the public and media portray airsoft over there? And the second part of the question, what regulations do you have there, and what do you think works or doesn't work?
Okay, so first question on the media coverage of airsoft. It's pretty 50-50. I believe in like the early 2000s and early 90s, not a lot of people knew about what airsoft was. So it didn't really come up in the media a lot. And when it did, it was usually something negative, which was not good. And then early 2000s, early 2000s, a lot more people started getting turned on to airsoft. And that was great for the industry, but it had a negative effect socially, where a lot of younger kids or irresponsible people were getting a hold of airsoft guns and using them with malicious intent. And there were a couple times where people were shot by police because they were brandishing an airsoft gun, just for who knows what reason. And it really, at that time, that really put a sourness into a lot of people's ideas of what airsoft is and how people are treating the guns. Since then, there's been a lot of sorry, but I'm trying to think of the word. There's been a lot of legal push from people within the industry to make compromises with law enforcement and other government officials who saw that concern. And so now we're in a really good place where, law enforcement has we've adjusted to what law enforcement will be acceptable in terms of the colorization of the guns. Like here in America, everything has to have an orange tip. And in California, they go beyond that. And there has to be certain orange stripes around certain parts of the gun, like the trigger guard, pistol grip, and stock, to identify it as an airsoft gun. Now, obviously, that's not a 100% solution to that problem. It just gives law enforcement something to go off of, like, okay, that should be an airsoft gun, and if it's not, then we might have a problem.
Yeah.
But we're in a good spot now. In fact, before the pandemic started, I had myself, Leah, and Josh from milsim West had just finished up an interview with the New York Times. They're going to be doing a piece on milsim.
Wow.
And that's pretty huge to be published in the New York Times for just airsoft. That's never been done before.
That's awesome.
What was the second question again?
What regulations do you have there, and what do you think works or doesn't work?
Okay. So like I stated earlier, the regulation specifically here in California is you must have the federally mandated orange tip on the gun.
Yep.
The pistol grip must have a strip of orange along with the trigger guard and the stock. I really don't see a problem with it. I like it. Honestly, if you are brandishing your airsoft gun in public to others, outside of a gameplay area, then I mean,
common sense.
What do you expect?
Yeah. And we totally agree. Like here in Australia, we're fighting to make sure this hobby gets recognised properly inside our industry and our community. And we do, like you, have a situation of people using these blasters in the wrong way, in the wrong manner, at the wrong place, at the wrong time. And the government has stepped up and they've implemented some regulations to make sure we stay safe inside our community as well. But it's good to hear it from your point of view, because what you're saying is something that we should be implementing. I love the sound of putting like your orange tips on the front of the actual blaster so you can actually see the difference. But we're also getting into the area. A lot of guys now these days are customizing their blasters amazingly here in Australia. They're laser cutting into the actual sides of them and putting some Kiwi tattoo firm looks on the side of their blasters. They look phenomenal. Just so we have a point of difference. Going onwards, we do have a question from Jackson from Facebook. Ask, how hard was it starting in airsoft for you?
It's funny because for me personally, it wasn't too hard. I think the hardest part is buying your first airsoft gun, mainly just getting the capital, especially if you're just, some poor kid like I was. The way I bought my first airsoft gun was here in California, we have recycling centers and you could turn in cans and bottles and you can get cash back. So I basically just went around and collected a bunch of aluminum cans and glass bottles and made a bunch of trips and finally saved up enough money from those recyclables to buy my first airsoft gun. And that gun was a classic Army M16A4, and the hop-up didn't work out of the box.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. And I love that you just told that story because, believe it or not, I have a younger son myself, Thomas, and in Australia, at the beginning of the year, they started doing the same as you. We can get 10 cents for each bottle that we recycle. And my younger son, Thomas, is actually collecting the bottles the same way you are to actually get himself a blaster, to save up and buy a blaster. So that's phenomenal. Yeah, fantastic. That's great to hear.
Very, very cool. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Declan Higgins from Facebook asked, if you could go back in time, what would you tell Jet before his first game?
Before my first game, actually, I would go back to my very first paintball game when I was like 12, and I would just tell myself, good luck out there. It was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I got shot right between the eyes my very first paintball game, me and my buddy.
Ouch.
But ever since then, I've been kind of hooked on shooting sports.
Julia Shannon and Keith Simmons from Facebook asked the question, would you ever take a gel blaster onto an airsoft gaming field and create a video between the difference between the two?
Oh yeah, definitely. Since gel ball has appeared kind of on my personal radar, I've been very curious about how these blasters work and the types of ammunition per se that you guys use. I've watched a couple videos online from some other guys in Australia, and to me it seems like it's pretty similar to airsoft. I would love to try it here in the States just to get the reaction of other people, because everyone's so used to getting hit with a solid projectile. I really wonder what would happen if they got hit with that ball of gel that just explodes on them. Like, what? What
just happened?
Yeah. I really want to see the cluelessness in people's faces from, this, what they believe is an airsoft gun, and then it's shooting, water balloons essentially.
And we'd love to see the reaction of the people when they do get hit as well. That'll be awesome.
That'll be highly entertaining. All right, so Jet, we've got a Justin Spear from Facebook who has asked, would you consider making a trip here to say hello to some of your Australian fans, and that would otherwise find it very difficult to see you on the field?
I would absolutely love to come to Australia. Once you guys contacted me, I looked up where you guys were and learned a little bit more about Australia myself because I really didn't know much other than it's the land down under and there's kangaroos, crocodile Dundee. That's pretty much that was pretty much the
And
extent
drop
of
bears.
my.
There's
Very
drop
important
bears.
drop bears. You got to be careful of them. Very highly dangerous here in
yeah.
Australia. Yeah.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
But yeah, I would love to come to Australia and specifically play gel ball. Obviously, I would also want to do other stuff. I think one of the biggest things that I would love to try to do if I came to Australia would be to go to the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh yeah.
That would be definitely something I'd love to do. But yeah, coming to Australia to play gel ball would be phenomenal, and just being able to meet some people in Australia. I see them commenting in my videos all the time and how sad they are that they don't have airsoft. So it'd be great to come out and just talk to the gel ball community and just see what it's like.
Oh, we'd take you on a heartbeat, mate. That'd
Absolutely.
be fantastic.
We've got Tim from Urban Gel Ball asking, could you see gel ball permanently replacing airsoft on an indoor CQ speed style field?
That's a really interesting question. Part of me, I think gel ball's place may be in competitive airsoft, just because the format that we have now, or at least one of the formats that we have now, Speed QB. I don't know if you guys have heard of.
Very familiar
Oh,
with
yes.
Speed
Big
QB.
time.
Okay. So Speed QB to me right now is a little flawed in a sense that just like any other shooting sport, there's no marking. Paintball, you have a 68 caliber ball of gigantic paint, and we still have cheating problems. So, when it comes to airsoft, where we just have a solid projectile, not even leaving any sort of mark, it gets really hard to tell. But let's say we could get some colored gel balls. I think that would help eliminate a lot of the problems within that competitive side of airsoft. Or gel ball, whatever it may be. So there could be an evolution of the sport there in in an actual competitive nature.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely. All right. So we've got Ethan McKernan from Facebook asked, what chest rig do you run?
Oh man, I run so many chest rigs.
Do you have a favorite?
I think my all-time favorite, and this might surprise some people, is Russian Chinese Chicom. It's so easy to get. The thing is like $12. You can wear it with any kit. It's just super comfortable. Very cool. It's the most basic thing you could ever wear, but I mean, like that's the beauty of it. It's just so basic. You can cram AK mags in there, M4 mags in there, UMP 45 mags, whatever. It doesn't matter. You just cram whatever you want in those pockets.
We've got a question from Jay Crossway from Facebook asking multiple questions. So we picked one question out of all of them for you. How did you meet Lee?
How did I meet Leah?
Yeah.
I met Leah at an airsoft event. So a little bit of background. So it's like 2000, what is it? It's like probably like 2015, 2014. So I'm still riding pretty high on YouTube. I just started, so I'm kind of on the up and up. Leah just started working at Spartan Imports. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that company.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so Leah was working at Spartan Imports, and we actually met at SHOT Show. So I had gone to the Spartan Imports booth, and I had originally gone there to go talk to somebody else. And Leah was the only one at the booth, so she ended up helping me. And that was the first time we had ever spoke or interacted with one another. And I didn't really think much of it. Like, okay, this nice girl working in airsoft. That's great. We don't have a lot of those. Fast forward to a couple months later, we both end up going to an event in Georgia at an indoor field called SS Airsoft for one of their anniversary games. And after the event, there's always, a hangout after party with all of the other industry folks. And so that's kind of where we, met up some more and talked. And then just from there, we just spent a lot of time talking to one another via Skype, because at the time I lived in Southern California and she lived in Northern California. So there was about an 8-hour travel distance between the two of us.
Must be lovely.
So for like months, we just talked on Skype. all night, and that's pretty much what solidified our like love for one another. Is just we're able to just talk to one another all the time and talk about like, you know, airsoft and other things in airsoft, just all sorts of stuff, and we just really vibed well.
That's really cool.
Now we're married.
Yeah, I mean, man, she's a really, really cool person.
Absolutely.
And we've both watched a lot of her videos, and I really like that setup she has with the, she wears the paintball goggles and the cloak.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. All right. So, look, speaking of such things, Jet, so, yeah, we are big fans of Unicorn Leah.
Absolutely.
But what's it like to share a passion for airsoft with your wife?
It's great. Honestly, I don't have the problem like a lot of other guys who have to hide all of their airsoft purchases or gun purchases from their wives. I get to just be like, look at this new gun I got. Isn't it awesome? And then she goes, yeah, that's awesome. Let's put this on it. Let's put this on it. All right, cool. Let's go to a game now.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's really great. I think the biggest thing the best thing about Leah and us being in the same space and sharing the same hobby is that we get to go to all of the things together, and so we get to play the game with one another and work together as a unit. And then after the game's all done, then, you know, we could do some leisure travel depending on where we are for an event. So like, but there used to be an event in Mississippi that we would go to. It was a Milsom West game, and then after that game would be over, we'd drive to Louisiana and go to New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
For Mardi Gras.
Commitment.
I wish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool. All right.
What do you know about gelball?
Oh man, what do I know about gelball? I don't know much actually, other than I know that it uses a gearbox very similar to airsoft. The gelball gearbox can also be fit into a lot of airsoft bodies. I don't think gelball has a hop up. Am I wrong?
It does,
Yep,
but
yep.
instead of
it
being where the
does.
T-piece is,
Yeah,
it's
where you
towards
want
the
it.
front of the barrel.
Yeah, absolutely. So ours attached to right to the very front of the blaster. Yeah. Instead of that, 'cause
okay,
You have the one
okay.
you can turn the little knob or adjust. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching some tech videos, and I didn't see a hop up, or at least a hop up that I recognized. So I just assumed that there wasn't one.
Was that on Guido's Chop Shop? You were watching those?
Oh man, I don't remember the name of it. Sorry, I know that he's got the camera just facing a table, and he just
Yeah,
has
Luke
like
Guido.
Guido.
That's Luke Guido. That
Okay.
guy's awesome. Yeah, better looking at me, so I don't really like him.
Massive following in Australia. He's like the
Okay.
tech that everyone sort of
Goes
watches.
to If you got problems with your blaster, you look up his content. Yeah.
Okay, I can see
Absolutely.
why. It was
Yeah.
good. I was pretty intrigued by the whole thing. It was a very simple spring upgrade on a Scar.
Yep.
And yeah, I was into it because I was like, oh, this is what gel ball looks like. All right, very
He's going to
cool.
be so stoked to hear about
Oh,
this.
Boise. Yeah.
That's
I'll
awesome.
talk to him straight afterwards.
Yeah, nice. We'll let him know. All right. So, look, Jet, we're going to start looking at some of your YouTube footage. We've got a couple of videos.
Yep.
So
Oh, no.
the first one we're going to bring up is something that I found to be quite amazing. So, yeah, hoping to get some of your commentary on this. We're just going to watch a little
Okay.
bit of the start of it. So
Yeah.
we're just bringing it up now.
So I do have some gel ball questions for
Yeah,
you
cool.
guys.
Yeah, go.
Shoot.
What is the maximum FPS that you can shoot a gel ball gun at?
So
Like-
at the moment, it's most fields have a cap of
Yep,
300 to
300.
350. A
Okay,
lot of that is determined by insurance policies.
Gotcha.
Some fields are lucky to have a decent insurance policy that
They do.
allows them to go higher.
Absolutely.
But then, as for what's possible,
Yeah, what's possible?
yeah, they can get up in the high hundreds. So 700 to 800 FPS.
Easy.
There's a few
Holy
people pushing
cow.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, but we tend to not encourage that as much as we can.
No. So if there's kids on the fields, by all means, there's a lot of fields that keep it under the 300 FPS limit. If you hire the field out yourself, so you have your own team that's going to be hiring the field, unlimited, because everyone agrees that everyone's going to be playing at a high FPS. They have Pro League days, which are normally a Friday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon, where you have to be over the age of 18 to actually attend a game. And
Oh, that's
those
cool.
Pro League days, then we can actually use a special gel sponsored and supplied by someone absolutely awesome next to me.
I'm the ammo guy in the industry.
Oh, he is. He is the absolutely premium ammo guy in the industry. Because gels are not gels. We've got softened gels, which are normally like your orange ones, bright yellow, a couple of other colours that the kids use, or on your entry-level blasters. But there are some hardened gels that will leave a smiley face on you if sprayed. Quite nicely as well. And then the boys, we've seen some of the boys when they've shot, they actually get blood blisters.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is it doesn't hurt as much as airsoft.
No, not even close.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because with airsoft we've got a solid projectile and the inertia is just transferring basically to you, but like with gel ball there's a little bit of give.
That's right.
I guess
I imagine it's about the consistency of like of like Jello.
It's more like it's like a soft rubber is probably a better one. But ultimately, like I remember from airsoft, I mean, I spent most of my time growing up in Southeast Asia, and so I was surrounded by airsoft over there. I remember the sting. And it would stay for like 10 seconds. You're going, ow, But in gel ball, it's like it's quick. It's like a couple of seconds, real sting, ouch. And then you're back into it, and so that's a bonus.
It's like your brother flicked you really hard, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the weight of the gel balls, what is that comparable to in like airsoft? Like we have grams. Do you guys also go off of grams, or is it just kind of whatever?
So it's grams, and we basically it's 0.19 grams up to 0.24, 0.25. The main difference though is batch by batch. It's one of the challenges in the ammunition space that I currently deal with. Is the batches don't have the same level of consistency as BBs. So it comes down to the temperature in China at the time, and sometimes we'll get a batch that's all 0.21 grams and a specific diameter, and then 2 months later they'll be massive and really light. So
like a 0.25 gram. That's like on the heavy side.
Yeah, definitely on the heavy side. That's where we have the, most people try to use that in modified blasters, and that's sort of like the standard for competition.
Yep.
And then we've got the more entry level stuff's really soft.
Very soft. Yeah, you can literally squish them between your fingers quite easily.
Okay. So I'm going to share my gel ball video idea with you guys, and I want to get your feedback. Feel free to use it too.
Yeah.
Awesome. But what I want to do with gel ball that I can't do with airsoft is use a thermal sight. So if you just shoot a BB, and I've thought about this a lot, too much probably, is what to do with the BB, because the BB, like I either need to heat it up or I need to cool it down, and that just kind of that's going to take some sort of effort. But gel ball, I mean, it's just going to be the temperature of the water, correct, that you put it in. Does that have a positive or negative effect on
it does on the actual molecular structure of the actual gel ball. If you grow it in warm water, and everything's moving around a lot quicker and spaced out, you tend to find that the gels are a little bit more brittle, and when you grow it in cold water, they're a lot stronger. But then you take them out of water, and if they're out of water for longer than like 1 or 2 hours, they shrink. So you basically you store them in water, and then just before you go in for like a half-hour session or something like that, you use all the gels you can.
Literally get a strainer, strain them out, and then use the ones that have been strained inside your
But they're
blasters.
cheap.
Yeah, they are
that's
super
a good thing.
cheap.
Yeah. $10 for 10,000 over here, and that's our premium
Holy
range.
cow.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, that's the premium range. That's not the entry level range.
Yeah, it's like $5.
Whoa.
$5 for
that's like $350 US. So
that's crazy. Okay. So basically, the setup would be to, now that I know this, is to get a gel ball blaster, mount a thermal sight onto it, and then just blast people, because obviously a BB would just kind of bounce off somebody and we see it. But my theory was that shooting people a bunch, at least with like gear on, you'd see that explosion of like cold water or warm water,
How cool
and it would look cool on
That's
camera.
awesome.
That would be awesome. Very
cool.
I know that that you guys have the gel balls, the glowies that we use for nighttime events.
Yeah, similar to tracer BBs.
And when they hit, I noticed that when they explode, they leave a pattern on like the person's uniform, so you can see they're physically being hit by a glow ball. Yeah, because your glow balls, when you shoot them, they just bounce off and land on the ground and keep on glowing for a little bit longer. Yeah, so
that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Absolutely love it. All right, well let's have a look at another video.
All right.
Now this is easily for me personally, it's probably my favourite clip of yours, my favourite portion of a video you've ever put up. Not sure if you're familiar with this one, but this is regarding the infamous grenade throw.
Oh, yes.
Back out the window. Oh. That was so cool.
This is one of my specialties.
Talk us through this.
So we got the first grenade coming in. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of telltale signs of how long a grenade is going to take to explode, or specifically the tag-in grenades. So I'm going to set my rifle down. I'm just waiting for the grenade, and what it is, it's the clack. So once you hear the clack of that spoon being released, that means now the timer is going. So what a lot of people do is they just release the spoon and immediately throw it. Now the timer on tag-in grenades is pretty long. It's about it could be anywhere between 5 and 5.5 seconds.
Yep.
And if you're in close quarters like this, that's actually a lot of time to get the grenade off. And so that's exactly what happens in this clip. In fact, you can see the spoon depart from the main body of the grenade as it flies through the window. And at that moment, I knew I had more than enough time to get that back. And yeah, it's just something that you really have to be mindful of, and had to have played a lot of airsoft and have a lot of pyro thrown at you to really know when to pull this off.
That is so cool.
That is absolutely cool.
Even when the camera pans outside and you actually see the people that you've hit, it would have been the biggest surprise for them.
Epic take back. Yeah. Do you have any advice for the gel ball community here in Australia?
Oh man, yeah, just I saw another video where someone was complaining about some quadruple division of like entities or something that are all vying for control of gel ball politics or law or something. I didn't quite understand it. But I was just like, oh man, I see where these guys are at right now. But I think just the best way to get to ensure that your shooting sport is not infringed upon is to make sure that you guys take the reins and establish on a national level a core set of rules and safety procedures for all of gel ball or airsoft or whatever. That will be your key to getting to pushing for more legalization of shooting sports, and to make sure that your shooting sports aren't banned like we faced here in California. Even in the US, we don't really have a national set of standard rules for safety and other procedures for airsoft. So if Australia came out with one for gel ball, that would be humongous. That would be, you guys would be light years ahead of America.
It's happening. There's there is some regulation at a state level for us.
That's right.
That's about to happen in Queensland, and it is a very touchy subject. There's a lot of people that get very emotional about this sort of thing. So
the video I watched was very emotional.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's all going in the right direction, which is good as well, because most of it wonderfully it's just common sense. Stop and think. But once you guys can just get everyone to agree to a core set of rules and safety procedures, you guys will be, I think that will help tremendously. Absolutely.
That's some great advice. So for all of you associations out there, listen to that advice. So all right, cool. Now, Jet, just wrapping this up now. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, mate. Cheers, champion chief.
Can you please tell our viewers how they can find you on social media?
Oh, yeah. Super easy. So if you want to watch more YouTube videos of me, you can go to YouTube and just type in DesertFox Airsoft. It should be the first channel that comes up. If you want to see some behind the scenes and some more of my personal life and Leah's, you can check out Leah's channel. You just type in Unicorn Leah. And on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, it is just at the DesertFox, THEE, and then DesertFox, all one word. And that's for all other social medias: Instagram, Twitter. I think I got a Vero.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's another 1,000 followers just right there within the next 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Okay. Challenge accepted. Go on, Australia. Okay. All right, cool. Well, look, great. Thanks for that, Jet. So everyone, that's all we've got for you today. I'm Dan from Ausgel, and just remember you can find us right here on Facebook at Ausgel, also on YouTube at Ausgel, and at Ausgel Ammo on Instagram, and of course our website www.ausgel.com.au.
And I'm Mark from TTB Gel Blasters Pimpama. You can find us available on YouTube under TTB Gel Blasters, and also available on Facebook under TTB Gel Blasters, and also now available live on Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us again, Mark.
Cheers,
really
Dan,
appreciate
man.
that.
Really appreciate it, brother.
And mate, Jet, thank you so much. Having people like
problem at all,
yourself
guys.
involved, it's
Definitely.
such a big deal for our industry.
Yep.
And yeah, really, really appreciate it. Thanks
Absolutely a privilege. Cheers, champion.
No
Thank you very
problem.
much.
All right. See you guys.
Catch up.